Hey everybody, my name is Eric Hopkins and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're finding me for the very first time, please click that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content here on my channel. And so I've been doing a little bit of a series here over this weekend in regards to some of the major franchises and where they're going to be going in the future, what they've been doing currently, and all this stuff that's going to be coming up down the line here for all these franchises I want to go over here. And one of them I want to go over here is the future of DC Comics, their movies and TV shows, everything that they got coming up down the line. So I want to jump over here to my hard drive and kind of explain to you guys where things are going to be going with everything they've got in the pipeline here. So obviously this is my hard drive that's got all my DC stuff on it, all the way back from the 1966 Batman series, obviously with the Christopher Reeve Supermans and the Michael Keatons and Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. That the less we talk about, sometimes the better. Even though I have some fond memories of these two films because it was when I was younger and things like that. And of course we get into the Batman the Animated Series, all those films and things like that. Smallville, Birds of Prey, some of the lesser famous or popular movies like Catwoman, Constantine, V for Vendetta, Losers, Watchmen, and Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern, which he himself is even panned in his Deadpool movies. And of course then we start to get a little bit into more modern stuff with the DCEU. Some of you may notice I've got Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, and The Dark Knight itself in here after Wonder Woman, because I only put that there because I know it's not a part of the DCEU, but to me it's kind of I kind of look at it as a little bit of a complimentary piece to the DCEU's Ben Affleck Batman, because it shows a little bit of like the Batman when he first began and some of his other movies that he's gone through that Ben Affleck's Batman really didn't show us, because Ben Affleck's Batman had already been doing the job for about 20 some years. So I kind of like watching it in this order after Wonder Woman, so you kind of get a little bit of a backstory of Batman before he meets the Man of Steel in BVS Dawn of Justice. And of course I've intertwined the Arrowverse and CW with all this DCU stuff as well as series like Lucifer and the Batman Lego movie. All this is pretty much based on release date when things were coming out. And of course both versions of the Justice League here, because one is considered canon and Zack Snyder's version is not, unfortunately. I really like that film, as many of you did, and I would like to maybe see more from Zack Snyder's DC universe, but it does not appear that is where DC and Warner Brothers have decided to go. And of course now that Warner Brothers is under a different ownership a little bit, merging with Discovery, and Warner Brothers Discovery will now be kind of calling the shots with DC moving forward. But of course, we still had Aquaman and Shazam, which I think are very good films at the DCEU. We had Titans on TV, the CW verse with Arrow, Flash, Black Lightning. We had Doom Patrol, which is an amazing series. Swamp Thing kind of had its one, season one off here, and then of course we had the one-off film Joker, but very well could get a sequel from the sounds of things. And of course we got Batwoman, and along with the rest of the CW verse, and an animated show based on Harley Quinn starring Kaylee Cuoco from The Big Bang Theory. Penny herself voices Harley Quinn. This is an adult animated show. Do not let the kids watch it, but it's a lot of fun as well. And of course Harley Quinn got her own movie in Birds of Prey in the DCEU. So Stargirl, Legends of Tomorrow. DC is doing all sorts of stuff. And of course, DC has been doing the multiverse for years now. All of these different shows take place in their own worlds, except for the DCEU that kind of take place in one timeline. So the good thing that DC has done, especially in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover that the CW did, was to bridge and explain all of the timelines and Earths that DC have already done, and explained that all these Earths take place, in conjunction with each other, and all the stuff that happens in the DC world counts. So it's not like if you like the old Christopher Reeve Superman, that they don't count anymore. They still count. The Michael Keaton Batman still counts, as we're going to find out in some of the future projects they have going forward. So all this leads up to basically where we are right now, which is right here. Right here is where we are currently at in 2021, and that is in the mix of the CW verse continuing here with The Flash Season 7, Supergirl Season 6, Legends of Tomorrow Season 6, Black Lightning Season 4 that just wrapped up, as well as Batwoman Season 2 and Superman and Lois Season 1. Supergirl is obviously in its last season as well, but the CW verse has done some of the best DC stuff in recent years. If you want a cohesive universe that tells very good DC stories. Go check out all the Arrowverse / CW verse stuff. It is amazingly done. It's been going on for many, many years now, almost a decade, I believe, if my math is correct. And they've got a lot of great episodes. They intertwine with each other. They have crossover events. So definitely go check them out. It's some of the best DC content you're going to find. If you could get past the romantic drama side of things on CW. Obviously, they do delve into that some as well. But some of the superhero action is very well done, especially on a TV budget. So definitely go check it out. Then we have a little bit of another one-off thing, kind of like Joker. This is a movie called Sweet Tooth. It is based on a DC comic, which is why it's in my DC file here. It is going to be coming out on Netflix on June 4th, this weekend, as a matter of fact. It is being produced by Robert Downey Jr. and his wife, Susan Downey. And it's, like I said, based on a DC comic here. I got a lot of X-Men vibes to when I was watching the trailer for it. So it's just something I wanted to add to it here. It just kind of, add to the pile, so to speak. So I'm definitely going to check that out. So maybe keep an eye on my channel for a possible review of that moving forward as well. Then, of course, we're going to be getting more seasons of Titans at the middle of the summer here on HBO Max for Titans. We'll be getting season 3, and then we're going to be starting to get into more of what DC has plans moving forward overall. And we're going to start that off with the Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn, and on August 6th, 2021. We're going to get Harley Quinn returning with Margot Robbie as well. We're going to get Idris Elba playing Bloodsport, John Cena playing the Peacemaker, and of course King Shark. A lot of other great characters in this film. I'm getting very heavy Guardians of the Galaxy vibes by this, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of good action as well, and pretty violent as a matter of fact as well. I believe it's supposed to be rated R, so it could be a lot of fun. And of course, Stargirl Season 2 is going to be continuing from Season 1 on her own Earth, and from what I understand, she's going to be jumping to CW, so that very well could mean she's going to be joining the main CW verse as well, since Supergirl and Black Lightning are ending their runs. So the CW are looking for new heroes to intertwine with the Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Batwoman, and so I think that's going to happen as well as the new series Naomi that is going to be coming to CW in 2022 as well. So those series will start to intertwine and do crossover events, I'm sure, as well. But I kind of wonder how long the CW verse has left. It's been going on for so long now. At some point, it may be about time to wrap that up. But for now, I've definitely enjoyed it. And speaking of the Suicide Squad, in January of 2022, John Cena's character, the Peacemaker from that film, is going to be getting his own HBO Max series. So James Gunn is working on that right now, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. It's probably going to be very gory and very wordy, obviously, if you can't tell by this poster here. So I think that could be a lot of fun as well. So a little bit of a spin-off from the Suicide Squad. They wanted to do this thing in DC now, where they take some of their films and spin off from it, and sometimes their TV is going to intertwine with their movies, and movies with their TV, and I think that's going to be a great strategy moving forward. So as for the big stuff coming up here, there's a lot that DC is doing that a lot of people don't want to talk about or don't really remember. So let's start off here with the, obviously everybody wants to talk about, the Snyder Cut, they're not going to continue that here, but DC actually has a lot of great plans. And of course the merger may change some of that with Discovery, but at the same time, as of right now, some of the stuff they've got planned, I'm very excited for. The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson as Batman, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, obviously Catwoman is in this as well, and Paul Dano will be playing the Riddler, which is going to be a much darker take on the Riddler in this film. This is going to be set in its own world, has nothing to do with Ben Affleck's Batman or anything like that, so that could mean that we still get Ben Affleck back, which we will at least one more time. And of course, it's again kind of like the Dark Knight, where it's set in its own world, so there's no worries about it intertwining with anything here, so they can kind of do what they want creatively without it being hindered by anything in the DCU. After that, we're going to have the DC's League of Super Pets. Comes out May 22nd, 2022. And we found out recently that the lead voice of Crypto the Superdog is going to be voiced by none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So, I'm still holding out that I want Ace the Bat Hound to be voiced by Kevin Hart. I think that could be great. I don't know if that's the route they're going to take, but we'll see what they do. So this will be a fun little movie for kids, obviously. And if they do this well, it could be a big hit. Big hit, obviously. Marvel had a great hit with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So if they do that well, I think this could be a big hit for DC as well. And keep in mind, in 2022, that means we'll have 5 DC films in theaters right here. All of these 5 DC films in 2022. So again, DC is going to be stepping up their game here in the next few years. And with that, in 2022 on July 29th, The Rock, speaking of Dwayne Johnson, is currently filming Black Adam as we speak. And obviously that ties into a bit of the Shazam lore as well. And we're going to be getting the Justice Society of America in that movie as well. So it's going to be a definite film that I believe will be taking place in the DCEU. And of course, hopefully we'll be getting some references to Henry Cavill's Superman, because I desperately want to see Henry Cavill's Superman go toe-to-toe with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and probably Shazam too. That would be a great battle, if you ask me, and I think that would be something I would gladly pay all the money for. So give me my popcorn, give me my soda. I'm ready for it now. And of course, rounding out 2022, a couple films here. One of them being The Flash. This movie is very, very important to the future of DC, because Barry Allen is going to be going back in time to save his mother. The classic Flashpoint storyline is going to be given a different interpretation here, not as the same one we probably saw in the Flash TV series, to kind of give it a little bit of a different spin. But this movie is going to also star Ben Affleck's Batman at least one more time, and Michael Keaton's Batman from the 1989 Batman is going to be returning as well. So definitely check that out. And I hear a lot of other Justice Leaguers could be in it, like Wonder Woman and Aquaman possibly could be making appearances as well. And it's going to probably reboot the DCEU moving forward. So everything they've got planned after that will be taking place in a new rebooted timeline, and hopefully everything will flow better and we'll be able to get DC back on track, and Warner Brothers and Discovery hopefully won't screw it up going forward. But that being said, we're also getting a sequel to Aquaman 2 in December of 2022. So we'll be getting a continuation of that billion-dollar franchise so far. So I think that's going to be a great thing as well. 2022 looks very promising for the DC lineup here. And in 2023 here, people tend to forget too, is it going to be yet another 4 films from DC. Because DC has already said that they're going to be doing 4 films beginning in 2022 in theaters, and 4 films on HBO Max beginning in 2022 as well. And I'll get into what I believe those 4 films are going to be in just a minute. But as for the theatrical experience, it's going to be Shazam! Fury of the Gods. The sequel to Shazam will hit theaters on June 2nd, 2023. And that will obviously star Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as villains, as well as the main Shazam family cast returning as well. No Mark Strong in this one as Dr. Zatada, and I don't know if we're going to be seeing Mr. Mind in this one or not, but they teased that at the end of Shazam 1, so we'll see where they take it after that. And then we have 3 untitled DC films that they've already said they're going to happen. They don't have release dates just yet, but they said will be happening, so we'll see what they do with that. They could change their mind on that, but as of right now, they have already said they will be doing 4 DC films a year starting in 2022. Then after that, we get into some things that don't exactly have release dates yet, but we definitely know we're coming down the line. Some of them are rumored, but some of them are confirmed. One of them confirmed is Aquaman King of Atlantis. It is an animated 3-episode limited series that will be premiering on HBO Max, probably in early 2022, because it's supposed to be a little bit of a series to kind of fill the gap between Aquaman 1 and Aquaman 2. So it makes sense that this is going to release sometime in 2022 before the film comes out at the end of the year. Then we get into some of the what I believe is going to be an HBO Max movie, and one of them being Batgirl. Obviously we had Joss Whedon was attached to this for a while, but he is no longer attached to this project, and Batgirl is probably going to be, like I said, one of the HBO Max movies they probably have either set for 2022 or 2023, but it sounds like they've already kind of got the ball rolling on it, so it very well could come out in 2022 if they could get production moving on it here very soon. Obviously, I don't know if it's a good idea to jump straight to Batgirl right away. I'd like to maybe see them build out the Bat family and show it little by little here. But we'll see what they do with it. They obviously want to go a female-centric lead, so we'll see where they take it as well. And we just got the announcement the other day of a new Batman animated series that is going to be headed up by one of the original creators of the original Batman the animated series, entitled Batman Cape Crusader. That is going to be coming to HBO Max here soon too, and it's going to be delving into the noir version of Batman, like from the old comic books. So we'll see how they do a little bit of a spin on the classic character here. I'm definitely looking forward to that just because I love the Batman the animated series so much. And, of course, we're going to have a little bit of a children's animated series here called Bat Wheels. That'll be coming on HBO Max, which is going to be kind of like Batman cars, and obviously the Batmobile is going to be doing its own adventures as well. So we'll see where they take that. But it could be fun for a lot of children. And then we're going to be getting a Superman reboot. A lot of people want to see Man of Steel 2, myself included, but apparently it sounds like J.J. Abrams is going to be producing, not directing, a black Superman reboot that is going to be starring a black actor. That will be a little bit of a different take on the Superman character that we all know. But a lot of controversy around this. But I don't have as big of an issue with it just because it is going to be set on a different Earth. It's not going to be a part of the DCEU. So I have no problem doing these side stories that gives creators freedom to actually tell new stories that doesn't have to center around the main timeline. And I think that's going to be a smart strategy because a lot of people want the main timeline to continue to be Henry Cavill, and I hope that is going to still be the case even though we don't have a Man of Steel 2 on the docket. Hopefully we'll get Henry Cavill showing up in some other films. Then we've got another movie I believe is going to be coming to HBO Max. It'll probably be set in the DCEU like Batgirl, and it's going to be entitled Blue Beetle. I don't know a ton about this character. I know the character is Latino, I believe, if I remember correctly. So it'll be a lot of fun here. And obviously, all I know about the character. It's got like a almost like an Iron Man-esque Beetle suit that he wears. So it'll be kind of cool to see what they do with that character. Obviously, he's got comic book ties to Booster Gold as well. So could we be getting that character in this movie as well? Or I guess it could be a movie or a series. Either way, it's been announced for HBO Max, I believe. Then we're going to get another movie I think is coming to HBO Max entitled Zatada. Again, another character I'm not very much familiar with, but I hear she's amazing. I believe she's a bit of a magician, if I remember correctly. It deals with magic and things like that. We'll have to wait and see so I can get more info on that as well. And again, we're getting into some stuff that I don't know a whole lot about some of the characters like DMZ. That's obviously another HBO, I believe, series that's coming. There's not a whole lot I know about that, but we'll see where they take that as well. And I kind of like not knowing about certain things because I like to experience them as they come at us so I learn new characters and things like that. And we're also going to be getting another season of Doom Patrol on HBO Max, probably middle to late of 2021. The pandemic probably pushed it back a little bit, but it'll be good to see that. Gotham Central is coming to HBO Max. It is a series that is a spinoff of the Batman. It will focus on the Commissioner Gordon character played by Jeffrey Wright in that movie. He's going to be getting his own Gotham Central PD investigative series here on HBO Max. I'm assuming he'll be a part of it. I don't know if they've actually cast Jeffrey Wright yet or not, but that's what we'll be getting for that. It'll be a spinoff of the Batman. Then we have the Green Lantern Corps film. It is supposed to be still coming to theaters at some point here. I think what they're doing with the Green Lantern Corps film and the Green Lantern series that has been announced for HBO Max as well, that has currently got casting for Guy Gardner and Alan Scott and some of the lesser known Lanterns. Maybe a Kyle Rayner may show up in this as well. We'll have to wait and see. But I think the movie is going to delve into Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. And if they're smart, they take the heavy hitters and Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, bring them into the TV series occasionally, and let them cross over a bit. And you really expand the Green Lantern lore and the mythology, and you definitely expand this out to make it the Star Wars of DC. This movie series could be very well done if you give it the proper love and care, and you take your time and expand and and explore all the different rings and different colors, and obviously you bring in Sinestro and all these different things. Just don't do a Yellow Cloud parallax, and if you don't do that, I think you'll be just fine. So I can't wait to see what they do there. Then we'll be getting another season of Harley Quinn as well, which has got a release date, I believe, of late 2021 or early 2022. So we'll be getting more of that series as well, and the romance between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. And of course, we've also had rumors of Margot Robbie wanting to have a live-action version of the romance between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn as well. So we very well could get that coming down the line. And then we recently got news that Todd Phillips is going to be coming in to write the sequel for Joker 2, a movie that I'm not so sure we need a sequel on because it was very good as a one-off film, but we're probably going to be getting another Joker standalone film, which Joaquin Phoenix will hopefully return to do because he was really great in that film as well. Then, of course, we'll get the final season of Lucifer, which is also a DC comic many don't realize on Netflix coming up here before too long. That just released their second half of season 5. So Lucifer season 6 will get one final season to wrap everything up moving forward. And then we're going to be getting My Adventures with Superman, another animated series they just announced. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more centered for children, most likely, but it's going to be focused on Superman and Lois growing up and learning about themselves as well as Jimmy Olsen. So we're going to be getting that series on HBO Max as well. Then we're going to, another, I believe, straight to HBO Max movie we're probably going to be get is the announced Static Shock film that is going to, and I believe at one point Michael B. Jordan was at least involved with it. I don't know if he's still involved with it or not, but it'll be a good movie, I think, for HBO Max. So that makes Static Shock, Batgirl, Zatada, and Blue Beetle as 4 possible films that will be in either 2022, 2023, rounding out the promised HBO Max films that they discussed. So we'll see what they do there. And of course, we'll be getting probably a Supergirl film. I'm not sure if this is actually confirmed yet or not, but the Supergirl has been cast in the Flash film, as I mentioned, and she will be played now by Sasha Calle, and she will be probably be getting her own film as well. We'll see if Henry Cavill Superman may have anything to do with that, as well as Kara Zor-El is the cousin of Kal-El, so we'll see if Henry Cavill makes an appearance here. I would love to see that. That would be great to keep Henry Cavill in the fold, even if you don't have plans for a solo film for him just yet. And of course, rounding all this out is Wonder Woman 3 has been confirmed as well, with Patty Jenkins returning to direct and Gal Gadot returning in the title role. And of course, the Wonder Woman Amazonian spin-off show that they were going to do just focused around the Amazons, that I believe Patty Jenkins said was going to take place between, well, or it will be released between Wonder Woman 2 and 3, but of course, with Wonder Woman 1984 kind of taking place in the 1980s. We'll see where this falls in the timeline or anything like that here. And we'll obviously see if Wonder Woman goes back to Themyscira, which is, I believe, something the Justice League, the Snyder Cut hinted at, but we'll see if, since that's not canon, if they follow that. I think they probably will, though, because Wonder Woman has not been back home since she left in the first film, so I can see her going back to see her mother and all the other Amazonians as well. So, obviously, and then, of course, we have some other animated movies that DC has been doing, and they've got some coming out here with Injustice that was just announced, and of course the Long Halloween Part 1 and 2, and Justice Society World War II was just released. So DC has obviously been very, very, very busy, and people tend to want to not remember DC as much, even though, I know Marvel is kind of the most popular at this point, but DC has a lot on their plate and a lot moving forward. So if you were definitely liking anything that DC is doing, you've got a lot to look forward to. I personally love DC. I've been a Batman fan since I was a kid, grew up on the Batman 1966 series, so I'm looking forward to all this stuff. I think DC's got a solid plan. Let's just see if they can execute it, and hopefully we'll get some of their fan base back that they've kind of disappointed with the Snyder Cut, and obviously a lot of the drama that was going over there at the studio between the director and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully they could get back on track, and with the merger with Warner Media and Discovery, hopefully all this will be good moving forward. But what do you guys think about the future of DC? Do you think this looks great? Do you have hope for this, or do you think they're just going to fall flat on their face like they've done many, many times before? Comment down below, let me know, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all notifications about when I put up new content here on this channel. And until our next video, guys, take care.
We about to turn it on.